name's Reilly Jones. I'm Head of Communications and Events at the Racing Foundation, and we're here today at the Racing Foundation Conference, which is taking place at Ascot Racecourse. And today we've tackled the theme of social licence and how horse racing can navigate social licence amidst changing societal expectations.
I think today's been awesome. I just found it so positive when generally for racing and for those involved in the administration of the sport like me, there's a kind of pervading feeling of doom and gloom and negativity, some of which is for good reason. But I've just found today really inspiring, and it's been awesome to see so many young people here and to listen to Dominic from Invade talking about the amazing job he's doing, getting 350,000 students racing over the last 5-6 years, and seeing the youth panel. I just think there's so much for the sport to take away with today.
Today's been a really brilliant day, really insightful, inspiring opportunity to get lots of people in a room to talk about the horse racing industry, perceptions, where it needs to be in the future. My favourite talk was the keynote this morning, Bob Langert, who is phenomenal, and what he's managed to achieve for McDonald's is hugely inspiring, and there was a huge amount of transferable learnings from his past experience into our own sports and what we can do with it, and actually learning about how we can take challenges and make them into opportunities is something I'm certainly going to work away with today and take into my mainstream daily life.
It has been incredible to be surrounded by so many big hitters in the industry, a lot of very kind of powerful people here who've worked very hard to get to where they are, and they kind of have the power to make some really exciting changes in the industry, and hopefully they found what we've said quite interesting. I think some of the most important things for me were seeing the way other people approach this issue of kind of social licence and all the different things that can come from that, especially with horse welfare. It's obviously so important in this industry to make sure the horses are front and centre.
My name is Bob Langert, and my role in this whole area is I'm an expert, at least I like to think I'm an expert on sustainability. So for 35 years I led the sustainability programs and policy for McDonald's Corporation, and I worked with a lot of our suppliers to implement sustainability. I was very impressed with what I saw today in terms of all the energy and ideas around changing, because when I gave my keynote speech today, I talked about how there's kind of a formula for success, and the idea is you need to be open, which is really a challenge, to be truly open your doors to stakeholders, including your critics. You need to collaborate, sometimes with people that maybe don't like you, but bring them inside and start working with a broader set of people, not just with yourself. Thirdly, you need to take action. This can't be a PR exercise. And lastly, and more importantly, developing a strategy. So I was excited to see that there's just there's a lot of energy around all those ideas. And I think it's a challenge that I would encourage the industry to buckle up and take the journey. Don't sit around. One of my main messages was don't sit around and let others dictate what you stand for.
What's interesting about this year's theme is when we chose the topic of social licence, we chose it some months ago. The topic has become more and more pertinent really over the last few months, not only in racing but actually the wider equestrian community as well. And about 20% of our delegates at this year's conference were non-racing delegates from the wider equestrian community. But that brought a really fascinating mix of ideas, opinions, sharing of different learnings, and especially through the workshop there came out a really strong narrative around collaboration. This year's workshop was actually a bit of a trial for us. It's not something we've done in this format before. It involved a lot of delegates from lots of different areas of racing and non-racing, sitting on tables where they didn't necessarily know every single person on the table, and coming up with ideas for opportunities around social licence. So it's quite positive conversation. And what was great about it was the room was buzzing. When we did the feedback session, the ideas were flowing, and it was a really interesting way then to take some of those ideas and some of those action points and put it to the industry leaders in the leadership panel that followed.
You feel really bad singling out a specific topic because the presenters, all of them were really, really good. Just thought the whole day was great. I think the constant theme of collaboration, I'm certainly going away with a much more positive spring in my step than I write.
I was really energized by the younger people that were involved today. You had a youth leadership kind of group. You had a couple speakers talking about making the sport more fun, more accessible, more engaging, more transparent. You should view all these issues of society not as some sort of aggravation or peripheral issue, but really as a great opportunity. That's where I see it. I mean, you can do good for the world and good for your industry at the same time, but you can only do it if you're smart, strategic, and you take control of your own destiny. You don't let others dictate that for you.